Okay,
Oh,
it's
good.
recording. Yes, it should say that it's recording on yours. Okay, so Kate, look, it looks like Kate just got here. Kate, are you here? I see your name. I see her name, so she might be just like, it might be loading. Okay, so we are discussing Bud, not Buddy, and we're discussing the first 52 pages of it. Basically, the story starts out with Bud in his group home, and he finds out that he's going to go stay in a foster home, and it's very sad for him because he's kind of dreading it, and he's talking to his friend, and his friend is crying because he doesn't want to go to a foster home. And then he goes to the foster home, has a terrible experience there, leaves, and makes it to a meal place, like a soup kitchen, and gets told he can't be in line because he waited too long. And then after that, he this man grabs him and says, "Hey, Clarence," and starts calling him Clarence, and basically saying that that's his son, and claims him as son. And he's standing in line and has a very descriptive talk about what it's like inside the soup kitchen area. So the 4 questions that I think that I would ask about this book is, first of all, what did you think about Buddy leaving the group home and going and dreading going to a foster home? Another question I would ask is, what did you think about the Amoses? Another question I would ask is, what did you think about the whole gun situation? Since as adults studying this, I think that's a very good question to ask. Like, where do we feel, especially with it being in a public school and being taught in a public school? And then third of all, what did we think about the soup kitchen and the family that took Clarence and claimed him as his? So those are the 4 questions I would ask about this book. And I think, are we supposed to discuss those?
I don't know.
Well, we can lightly discuss those.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think about the fact that he was leaving the group home and his emotion with that?
Yes, I hear
Hey,
Kate.
I hear you. I hear you. No, it's okay. We just
video. I'm trying to turn my volume up. I just don't know what happened. So.
No worries. I was just discussing the questions that we would ask.
So about the leaving the group home, this book is tugging at me. That I just felt bad because you know that you assume that these kids want families and homes and stuff, but they have that where they are, and so to pull him away from his friends and stuff, it's got to be hard. They got to be sad, but then to go to a home that they don't know is scary, but they are excited. I don't know. It's just sad.
Yeah,
That is sad.
Yeah, and I think it got me that he was like, I think about like when I would go see family and I'd still get that lump in my throat. Like when we would leave, it always made me sad, but I didn't cry about it, and I was like, I'm not going to let anybody see me cry. But I would always, like when leaving my grandma's, I was always sad to leave my grandma's, but I was like, well, I'm not going to cry and I'm not going to let anybody see me cry, And so I feel like that, like hiding that emotion, like it still bothered him, but he wasn't going to let it show externally. And then his little friend couldn't help but do that still.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, and then what did you guys think about the Amoses?
Awful.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That mother is something else. I just thought,
yeah,
mother. And that little boy needs a spanking.
Oh, yes. And they locking that Bud up in that shed.
I know, that's so bad. And I know, like, maybe at that time, I just can't imagine that ever being okay, but.
No. It's awful.
My computer. Okay. It was falling. And then what did you guys think about the whole gun situation? Like I read that like 3 different times just because I thought like right there, that almost would make me hesitate to bring that into a classroom because
It was very descriptive.
it was. And I thought even if like I don't think Bud's intention was to really like shoot Todd, like, blow his brains out, but like just like that revenge of sticking it up his nose, like just like that,
It was very descriptive.
it was I thought as I was reading it, I was like, whoa, can they read this in school?
Yeah.
So it's 1936. That's when this was taking place.
Right.
So they probably didn't have all the stipulations for foster homes like they do now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They were just concerned about that. You get paid for taking children, so that's what they were doing. They thought this is a good way to get money.
Did it ever say if the Amoses were white or black?
He said, she made a comment saying like, you're giving our people a bad name or something like that. So I think that they're black as well.
Okay.
So I can't remember the exact phrase, but she refers to their people. Like that's how she says it. Or our people.
Yeah.
And I feel like the N-word would have been thrown around a lot more had it not been.
Yeah, probably.
Been white.
And I think also, and that was kind of maybe a silly question of me to ask, but I don't think they liked to mix the races back then still.
Right.
So that's probably.
Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And then, I forgot my last question and I didn't write it down.
You
Oh,
said
about the soup kitchen.
Yeah.
And about the family that took them. Like, I'm wondering what's going to happen with that. Like, do you guys think that there's going to be a relationship that forms with that family that took him to eat with him? That's me
Yeah,
too.
I'm hoping
I was
too.
like, that was like the light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, I hope something develops from this and that's why I'm happy we're kind of taking our time reading it, like we're reading it as we go, because like, I think we can go through that emotion of what was I thinking and as we're going through it. But like for me right there, I was like, I hope that like this develops into something, because like that dad
awesome.
took him immediately and was like he knew if I don't take him, this kid's not eating until dinner.
Right.
So. Okay, and then so those are the 4 questions I have. Let's see. I have it here. I'm looking at my computer.
Do you want me to do my words?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one I have, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing these correctly, but it's cure, and it's on page 10, and the sentence is, "You little cur, what have you done to Toddy?" And the meaning is an inferior dog or one that is mixed breeds.
Okay.
And then the second one is brute, which is on page 14. And the sentence goes, "You are a beastly little brute." And then the definition is a man who treats people in an unkind, cruel way. And then the third one is lamb, which is on page 35. And the sentence was, "I was on the lam," which is a rapid escape, often by criminals. And then teeter was my 4th word, which is on page 40. And it's a skin disease in animals and humans causing itchy or pussy patches such as eczema and ringworm. And that was when they were talking about like lice and stuff like that.
Very good.
Those are good words.
Those are good words. I really like those. Would you mind sending me the list of your words and what you just read in an email, and that way we can composite for everybody?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. And then Erin, what was your job?
Well, I think I was the summarizer.
Right.
but you gave a pretty good summary.
Well,
do I?
Go ahead and give me your summary, and then
Okay.
highlight your 2 key points.
Okay. Now I'm drawing a blank to the whole thing. So, Bud, which I think is interesting. His name is Bud, not Buddy. I want to know why he's so against the Buddy. So, you think they'll say that?
I do. I actually read ahead a little bit.
Oh, okay, I haven't read that.
So I do know why they, but yes, they do
Okay.
answer that.
So they, this little boy is in a group home and finally is going to live with a family. Gets put into a family that has a rotten little boy who we already agreed needs a spanking. Tricked him into, or they got into a tussle and he made his parents think that he was the victim and Bud did everything. So he was disciplined by putting into a shed out in the backyard, I assume. What he thought was a bat turned into be a hornet's nest that he knocked down and got stung and escaped out of the shed, went into the home, got his suitcase, left, and went on the lam. And at the end of our the chapter that we read, he was at a soup kitchen and picked up by a family. So we will see what happens next.
Awesome. Kate, did you want to tell us, you're the word wizard? Is that, no, not word wizard. What are you? The connector.
A little bit. Hey, I lost you.
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. And then, okay, I have a
There
great,
you are.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear my first connection thing?
No.
Okay, let me try it. When my grandkids come to my house to spend long periods of time, they're kind of like Buddy. They bring their little suitcases with their stuffed animals. Usually my one grandson will bring a picture of his mom and dad with him when he comes, if he's spending a week or so. And they always bring their pillows, kind of like Buddy with his little suitcase. But it isn't, I mean, they aren't in foster homes, they're with me. Maybe I am like a foster home. I don't know. Anyway, they always do that. I think that kind of connects a little bit to why he carries that, although he does have more. I mean, that is all that kid has, really, is just his suitcase since his mom's gone. And it's kind of in the same sense the grandkids feel like their mom and dad are leaving them when they go on vacation, but they always come back to get them, thank goodness. And something else to add to, my daughter just recently got a divorce, and her son, which is my grandson, he's 8. We were talking the other night, and I had read a little book to him that had a homeless man in it. I think it was Teddy Bear, if you guys read that one with her on that read aloud. And the homeless man was in there. And my grandson said to me, he goes, you know, I'm kind of a homeless kid. I'm kind of like a homeless boy with 3 homes because I have my mom's home, my dad's home, and then I stay here a lot at Grandpa's house. And I said, yeah, but you're not really homeless. And he said, well, I kind of am because a little bit's here and a little bit's there and a little bit's there. But really all I have is what I bring with me. So it kind of falls in that sense too, like Buddy. All he has is what he's got. He has no connection except for that little piece of flyer that his mother gave him. So it's kind of falls in that. That's how I connect it. And this story, it just really is so sad because can you imagine foster? I know some foster kids. I've never really had any other than my grandkids around. I just can't imagine the turmoil they go through mentally and even physically, you know, with what the situation. So if all you got to hang on to is your little suitcase, yeah, you better watch it carefully because that's all you got. And that's, I just tried to connect it that way. I hope that worked.
Perfect.
That sounds good.
Yep, I think those are great. Okay, and then Haley is going to, since she's still at work, she's going to submit artwork to us that we can look at and then give us like a quick explanation of why she chose that artwork for the illustration part.
What was Haley's part in? What
She's
was
the
her?
illustrator. So you're supposed to either create artwork or find artwork from another book or a collage or a flow chart or a graphic organizer or anything visual to explain how it relates to this book.
And who was the wizard? Did I miss that one?
You did, but you can watch the video because we have it recorded. It was Mackenzie was the word wizard. So,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'll send you guys all the link for this when it's done. So
Okay.
I'm gonna stop the recording.